What is enlightenment, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what enlightenment is? Quiz time. What is enlightenment? Oops, you don't know. Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to enlighten you. This video will give you spiritual awakening and enlightenment. Or at the very least, it's going to give you the knowledge to perceive this reality truthfully for what it is and to go towards the direction of enlightenment. Some people, don't tell anybody, but some people don't even believe that I'm enlightened, don't know that I'm enlightened even. Some people are commenting, oh, you're not enlightened, you're not enlightened. How do you know? We're going to explore this very beautiful and juicy topic. Today, there's two enlightened folks, fellows, on this chat. Myself, enlightened guru master, and Mr. Leo Armad, enlightened Superman, super handsome, super masculine, super everything. Two enlightened spiritual masters discussing the most potent topic. I don't know how the internet is going to handle this, how this is even going to go through the pipes underwater, and how this is going to connect to your screen. The vibrations here are too strong. So what is enlightenment? I don't know. Take it away, Leo. Tell me, what do you have to say?
Where do I start, man? Well, I'm grateful for the intro. I feel deeply humbled. In this moment, I feel like the opposite of what you presented me to be, but that is the nature of the human experience, okay? Enlightenment isn't all about being this divine Superman that doesn't go to the bathroom, that doesn't eat food, that is immune from the physical world. No, you're still in a human body, yet you have a different lens of perception, a different lens of awareness. And so that's the misconception that I want to fix today on this call is what is enlightenment truly? And again, the way that I would boil it down in summary is an altered lens of perception, the deconstruction, the dissolving of the egoic structures that have been created in your mind, and full liberation from suffering, and true freedom beyond the external physical reality that you are living in.
Very deep. I'm gonna have to bring a torch to how far you just dug into that. I'm not sure I can even go that deep, but I will talk about the first thing you said. That, oh, it's not about going to the bathroom or you're going to the bathroom. Oh my God, how can you be enlightened? So unenlightened. Yes, news flash, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. Ring the alarms. We're both human beings. We have the human body, human experiences, and we have to drink water. Wow, so unenlightened. My God, the most unenlightened thing you've ever seen. I've seen you do, Leo. You drank water? Ridiculous. No, that's
Cut that
false.
part.
We're gonna edit it out. We can't let people see how unenlightened you are. Absolutely not. You're never gonna catch me going to the bathroom. Bathroom? I'm enlightened. I'm floating above the clouds, a halo above my head, flying with the angels. Nothing. I'm just here kind of entertaining you with this human body. It's nothing. So that's not what enlightenment is. Leo talked very deeply. I wasn't even prepared for how the depth of where he was going. He need a submarine to go down as far as he went today, or in the second part of the video. But yes, my friends, I'll just touch a little bit what he said. Enlightenment is about dissolving your ego, we'll say ego. Dissolving. It's about dissolving. It's not about building, oh, one more little brick and I'll be enlightened. No, it's taking away the bricks. Then you're enlightened. When you have nothing, then you're enlightened. So, yeah. In many ways, a homeless man is closer to enlightenment than you. Look at you, living in a house and have all these attachments. No. So, let's see. Let me think of a question that I should ask you, Leo, because let's see what the viewers would be thinking. How can you tell a person is enlightened? Maybe I'm lying. Maybe we're both lying through our teeth. Look at us liars. How can you tell? Is there a way to tell?
Well, they have to be able to levitate. They have a certain shine in their eyes where you can see the void. Nah, let me be honest. Let me be real. How do you tell that someone is enlightened? Good question. Well, you have to be honest, the only way you can truly know whether someone is enlightened is by being enlightened yourself.
Wow.
And truthfully, I think that is the only way you can tell whether or not someone is enlightened. It's like if you spend enough time with someone that is enlightened, you will be able to meet them to the level that you have met yourself. Let me know if that lands.
I'm not really getting it.
Okay, how do I explain this? Say, for example, you're living your life, your egoic life, you're eating food, you're drinking alcohol, and you see someone that is enlightened on the street. You might just perceive them as a normal human being that is just walking down the street. Even if you spend time with them, maybe you spend a week with them, maybe you spend a month with them, you will only be able to know them to the extent that you know yourself. And the boundary is, based off of your simple life.
I think that is very deep what you said. We're gonna have to expand this. And yes, my friends, the only way you're gonna get to know if a person's enlightened if you are enlightened yourself. If you're realized, if you know the truth of this nature of this life. Then all you have to do is just hear the person talk, like a few sentences. If they say the right things, or if you kind of feel, oh, okay, this man has crossed the finish line, it's very simple. But if you're not enlightened, all you have to go by is the books that you've read. Oh, the book says this and the book said that. The book doesn't say anything. You know what the book is good for? Maybe if you run out of toilet paper, you can use the book for that. No, you have to cross the finish line, and then I can tell, this man has reached the finish line. Over for him. It's over. What else is there to do? I don't know. Just enjoy life and do whatever he needs to do. But there's no more spiritual work, no more gathering, no more doing anything.
Yeah. You can't really explain enlightenment. That's the thing. There's no textbook that can really like put you know, anyone that looks at enlightenment from an unenlightened lens has created some kind of a mental construct or some kind of a story as to what they think it is. And then when it occurs, it's like nothing like what they had expected. Prior to my awakening, I thought an enlightened being was someone that does all these miracles. That was like my perception of it. Later, I realized that miracles were nothing to do with enlightenment. In fact, I was able to do more miracles prior to enlightenment than after enlightenment. Why? Because I didn't really care anymore. So again, everyone has a different definition of what enlightenment is. Everyone has a different definition of what enlightenment is. And that's the only reason why so many people get triggered in your comments. One person thinks an enlightened person is this, another person thinks an enlightened is that. And so based off of their projection of what they think an enlightened person is, they're trying to put you down.
Do you think that enlightenment means freedom from suffering or being free from suffering? And are you free from suffering?
That's a good question. Enlightenment means that I am free from suffering. Now, after enlightenment, there is no more I. So, of course, I am free from suffering.
Whoa. Yeah. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is what enlightenment is. At least that's what the Buddha called enlightenment. He said it's the freedom from suffering. And when you've erased whatever this thinking machine is, or whatever this thing is, or your attachments, or you've come to the conclusion of the realization that there really isn't anything inside of this. That's you. It's just your body, your mind, your emotions, your feeling, your perception, your consciousness, and everything else is inside of you. None of it belongs to you. None of it is you. So how could there be more suffering in quotes? Don't get us wrong, my friends. You still experience pain. Maybe not Leo. If Leo stubs his toe, maybe he's too enlightened for that. No problem. But I don't know. Maybe that's true, Leo. Maybe it's not. So you still experience pain, I'm guessing, Leo.
I experience pain, absolutely.
Yeah.
Less of a, if I say, for example, if I hit my toe, I'll kind of just observe it and I'll be like, okay, I hit my toe. There's less of a like, oh no, I hit my toe, and like all these emotional responses that come. It's just
Mm.
like a statement experience, if that makes sense.
Yes. It's very subtle because you still hit your toe just like an unenlightened person, and you still maybe feeling like, oh, I hit my toe, it hurts, and I don't know. And maybe an unenlightened person will have the same reaction, but the subtlety is so soft, it's so gentle, it's so refined because your heart isn't making you suffer anymore. Oh, poor little me and my toe, that's gone. It's just, oh, me and my toe. You get the difference? It's very subtle, but it's very big.
You know, Paramahansa Yogananda, he wrote this book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And there's a story inside of this book where he talks about this enlightened man that was living out in the Himalayas. He was just walking. He was like a renunciate walking by himself. And there were these two police officers that were on the lookout for someone that had been stealing money from all of the locals in the village, who happened to look very similar to this enlightened being. And so these two police officers start, looking for this man. And in the distance, they see this, enlightened being. They didn't know he was enlightened. They thought that he was the robber. And so they run up to him and they cut his arm. Basically, they cut his arm like here. And his arm's kind of hanging. It's still there, but it's kind of hanging. And the guy, the enlightened being, turns around and just like looks at them with no emotion, just like in absolute peace. And I remember the two police officers realize that he is some enlightened being, and they apologize to him and they say sorry.
Oh
And then
wow.
this man goes off into the cave or whatever, and within a few days, he miraculously puts his arm and heals his arm back together. But anyways, the moral of this story is that when a person attains enlightenment, they are less identified with the physical body. And so what occurs to the physical body actually matters less to them. It's like in the same way that prior to awakening, when I would have a health issue, it'd be like, oh no, what's happening to me? And I'd be crying and I'd be sad and I'd be looping in my mind. And had the same thing happen to me post enlightenment, post awakening, I would just be the observer. I'd be like, okay, all right, buddy, good job. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that story makes me realize that that man that you were talking about, that enlightened man, is proper enlightened with a capital E. He's gone very far on the mastering energy game. I've gotten enlightened maybe with a slightly lowercase e, or a slightly less of a uppercase e, because I can't do that. I'm just free from suffering, and nothing really. I just can't suffer anymore. But I can't miraculously heal, or. So yeah, that's the distinction I want to make.
It's just a deepening process, The more you linger in the awareness state, the more you linger in the empty state, the more familiar you become with it. This is a lifelong process of unfolding, of dissolving, because we still have conditioning, we still have a human body, we still have trauma from when we were kids, we're still human beings. And so it takes time for this awakened state to really integrate deeply into the body and mind. It's a process.
Hmm. And I like what you said about emptiness, because this is the key to enlightenment and awakening, and how you can actually judge someone that's enlightened. Because you hear them talk about this. Empty. The universe is empty. It's nothing. It's emptiness. There's nothing here. Definitely what's not enlightened if somebody says, oh, it's something big and grow and some amazing thing. Well, not in that way, but fundamentally, my friends, the space is empty. And you perceive that. That's all it takes. You perceiving that. You realizing that. Oh my God, it's always been here. Now you see it. So freedom, fear is gone. Let's talk about fear. You have fear? Are you afraid of stuff? What are you afraid of? Tell us about fear.
I'm afraid of women.
Ooh, very scary.
No, I don't feel like I'm afraid of women in the same way that I once was. But I have fears, absolutely. There are fears. I have fear of judgment on a subtle level. I have fear of, there are subtle fears, absolutely. Way less fears than what they used to be. It's just like the body's experience based off of, childhood, based off of trauma from when it was younger. And so I'm less identified with those fears, but I'm aware that they're still present.
Mm, 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 mm. Wow. It's like, once you had fears, but now, once you were fear, but now you have fears, or, yeah, there's a bigger kind of separation from that. And I think the ultimate fear is the fear of passing away, the fear of falling off. permanently going away from being conscious. That's
Mm.
the biggest fear.
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. I feel like post-awakening, there was no more fear of death. It's like there was no separation between this life and death. It was like, oh, it's all the same thing. There is literally no difference. I could be gone tomorrow and I'll still be consciousness. I'll still be awareness. Like that's always there. Um, However, if I'm walking, and I'm about to cross the road and a car is about to hit me, there will be this natural response. You could say it's a fear response or a body response that will automatically make me step back to keep myself alive. So, it's present and it's not present at the same time. It's all about context.
Mm. Yeah.
How about you? What's your experience of fear?
I have fear, but I don't have fear. Like, fear is in my body, fear is in me. And the energy of fear is kind of stuck in my energy body sometimes. Oh, I have a little bit of fear of this or a little hesitation. And that's just the natural process of cause and effect. Some things needs to be worked out. But I don't have fear as I once did. Oh, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. No, that's gone. And this enlightenment, this awakening process is like you becoming much more conscious of this whole machine, this whole system. It's you being aware how much awareness you have. Because before this, the awareness gets stuck in the mind machine. And you're thinking, oh, I'm afraid, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm everything. You're not any of that. Then when you
Mm.
snap out of this, it's like, oh, your mind is just thinking. And it's just a bunch of nonsense. And even the ultimate fear, the fear of falling off the planet, that is also understood. It's okay. And it comes naturally. It'll happen. Nothing to be afraid of. You don't want it to be making it happen, you know? You want to live a long time, but still, yeah, it's understood.
Yes. Yes.
We got some nice comments. Nice people are chatting.
Can see it though. This is why you need a mod
uh,
in
he's
chat.
he's giving us engagement. Let him exhaust himself. Wow, what a guy, bro. This is the second. This is
I think it's a good sign, man. I think it's a
mm,
good sign.
this
It's
is
like where
this
there's light, there will be demons trying to take the light. Real talk.
very very yes, very accurate. This is the second time that we've had some. This is an extreme guy, extreme troll. I don't really usually get this, but for some reason Leo attracts them. The previous guy that jumped on, Leo and I went on a Discord call, and oh my god, you should have seen what he was doing. Well, maybe you shouldn't see. It was, you know, it still haunts me to this day. You guys are reading here. Yes, we are, Jude. That guy is truly enlightened. So yeah, I think this topic is done. Let's see what else we can add on this enlightenment. So then, how does one become enlightened? How did you do this? How can somebody else take this, into their lives?
Good question. Just suffer, man. Just keep suffering. Suffer more.
Well,
Yeah, if you want to participate in a suffering retreat, then send me a DM on Instagram and I'll help you suffer even more.
wow.
No,
So,
I'm playing. But yeah, I think suffering is it's like one thing that I used to speak about was that you should seek pressure cooker environments if you want to attain enlightenment. And a pressure cooker environment is something that really like pushes at the edges of your egoic structure until it just breaks. And so for me, I had, one too many experiences where eventually there was just a full on, the ego is just like, oh, I give up, I'm done.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I think just again, seek pressure cooker environments and embrace your suffering. Go into the suffering. Don't avoid it, don't bypass it. Fully be intimate with your suffering.
mm. Yeah, I think you're kind of saying this in a funny way, but I also think it's true that ultimately what leads people to enlightenment is their pain and suffering, most of the time. Not to say, don't get this wrong. We're not here saying that because the more you suffer, the more enlightened you're going to get. No. But you suffering will lead you to seeking the solution to this. Where is the solution? How do I solve this problem? It's an inner made problem. And it can be solved, my friends. And, well, follow the teachings of the Buddha, follow Sadhguru, Listen to wise men like us. You're doing this, so congratulations. And most importantly, meditate and figure out what is the truth. Cultivate wisdom and insight.
I think the other thing as well is like actually being in the physical presence of an enlightened being will speed up your enlightenment absolutely. Like, yeah, it's like there are many times where I'll just sit with the presence of another person and I can see their egoic structures falling away. People have
Mm.
reflected back to me that it's like being on mushrooms. Um, and so, yeah, seek a mentor, seek an enlightened being, try to be in their physical presence and let yourself surrender to it. Don't try to fight it. Just let yourself fall in their presence.
Yes, correct. This is also what I charge people money for. Pay me $1,000. I'll get you enlightened. We'll talk on the phone and I'll get this done for you. So reach out to me. Yeah, shout out to Danny in the chat. Always nice to see you here, Danny. Fear and anxiety are slightly different. Mm, yeah, this guy keeps on. It's got lots of energy. Let's see if we have any questions in the chat that I skipped over.
Oh my God.
Are
Let
you
me top three ways to suffer. Go on, say what you
Danny?
said.
Danny asks, "Are you walking with the divine?"
Are you walking with the divine?
Do you believe in reincarnation? Jude asks. Top.
Someone said name top three ways to suffer. I mean, I don't think there are top three ways to suffer. Um, maybe you can go to jail. This is unsolicited advice. This is not medical advice. But no, on a real note, everyone is suffering. Truthfully, everyone is suffering. Like if you really sit with yourself, you'll realize that you are suffering in some capacity. Um, whether it's discomfort that you experience after being in a certain situation, social, whatever it may be, like the human nature is to suffer. And so it's just a matter of putting awareness into your suffering, observing it, being with it.
Yeah, that is the catalyst that leads you to enlightenment is suffering. Unfortunately or fortunately, whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. I think that's it. Pretty much a run out of things to say as it relates to enlightenment. And what would you say if people are doubting you or not trusting you that these accomplishments that you have inside, what would you say to them?
Oh, let them doubt. Yeah, there is nothing to prove. There is no title that I claim. I'm just a person that's journeyed deep and has dissolved as many structures as possibly could in this lifetime. And yeah, like at the end of the day, everyone has their own perception. And so let them live with their perception. Those that truly know.
Yes. Danny asks, Shiva, what are your radical opinions on Leo? Radically honest opinions on Leo. My radically honest opinion on Leo is that he's awakened, an enlightened one. That's what we're talking here together. So, I think this is done, finished, over. Hope this made you enlightened out there. If not, pay me $1,000. I'll get you there. No questions asked. And reach out to us on Discord. We'll probably give go on a Discord video call right after this video. You can go in the description. So
Yeah,
if you're
we'll do a Discord, and if anyone wants to join, 6Zilla, 9Zilla, if you want to
yes,
join, you're welcome to.
yes, we'll be waiting for you there, my friend, in the video call. And as always, take care and stay enlightened out there, my friends. Take care. Bye.
Peace.